Yo, 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 welcome back to Briones Pickleball Podcast. I am here with our host, Jordan Briones. Everybody give Jordan a round of applause.
All right. Thank you, Caden. Good introduction again. Good to be back here after a couple weeks. And this is going to be, I think, episode 007.
Yeah, I think you're spot on.
A little James Bond action, huh?
Do you have the James Bond theme song on hand?
I actually don't. I should have. I should have came prepared, but
Such a good song.
yeah, episode 007, and today we have a lot to talk about, so you're going to want to stay tuned on this episode. Really exciting stuff. For those of you watching and listening, we work really hard to create the timestamps, so you can actually look on YouTube or on your podcast player if you don't want to listen to the whole show and you want to just jump into something very interesting, very juicy, or something that you think that is going to benefit you. Just jump right to it. Go on the bottom, go to timestamps, and
We spend a lot of time on those.
yeah, not to be a pun.
Yeah.
But we spend a lot of time on the timestamps. Okay, so there's that. We have a lot to get to this show. We're going to be talking about the new generation or the new wave of pickleball coming in.
It's getting scary.
It's going to get interesting, and we are going to obviously talk about our strategy tips of the week. We have a special sponsorship announcement and a special announcement. We're also going to talk about the past PPA and a whole bunch of other things. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things happening in the world of pickleball and professional pickleball.
Yep.
So you're going to want to stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Caden, how are you doing today, man? Like, what is the new news, or what's going on?
The name is actually Bond. James Bond. But everything in my life is good. As you know, the Arizona Pickleball League, the new, as some would call it.
Okay, we were going to actually save that for later, but go ahead.
Oh, shoot. Well, I'll cover that then. But the Arizona Pickleball League is starting today, so I'm going to be broadcasting for that later today. And then obviously next week I play against a very special person in my life. It should be fun. So I'm in a good mood. I have my Starbucks here. We're ready to roll. How are you doing?
Good, man. Super busy.
Yeah.
Teaching
Right.
and the video making.
Yeah. And obviously you have a whole family too. I mean, I
Yeah.
got attacked by him this morning.
Yep.
It's pretty crazy.
3 little kids. They love Uncle Caden. They like to see him around.
That's right. They love me so much, they sometimes call me Uncle Jordan because of your other friends. So.
Yeah.
Kids, man, shows the loyalty in them.
Yep.
Give them a piece of chocolate and you're now their favorite.
Yep. There you go. Uncle Caden's back. All right.
Right.
All right. So let's hop right in, and we are going to hop right into the strategy tip of the day. We are here to make you better. So if you are not subscribed to this channel or to this podcast, make sure you subscribe and follow everything we do if you want to get better at pickleball, because that's what we're here for. So, Caden, my strategy tip of the day. Okay. Really, really interesting here. This is something that I never used to do often. Okay. It's something probably my first, I would honestly say 2 or 3 years of pickleball. Now I started in 2014,
Right.
2015, but this is something that I never utilized as a winning strategy or just a setup point. And that is the strategy tip of the day is when you're up at the non-volley zone, dink and utilize the middle of the court.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Explain that to me.
Yeah. So when I came in a game, I knew a lot of things, but I knew that dinking was important.
Right.
So my dad and I, our first few tournaments we played together, we always practice. We practiced our resets, we practiced our dinks.
Yeah.
And we knew just from what we saw at that time, dinking was really important. So got to practice our cross court dinks.
Right.
Down the line is obviously a little bit more riskier. You got a higher part of the net.
Right.
And just drilling those cross court dinks. And my thought process, I mentioned this in a previous video too, that my thought process was like, I just need to dink until they make a mistake.
Yep.
And I never...
You still hear that till this day.
Yeah.
From some people.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. And we'll get to that. But I never utilized the middle of the court. And we're seeing it more and more and more in pro level play.
Yeah.
So a couple thoughts here. The middle of the court, one reason why it's so good and strategically smart to dink there is number one, and you'll hear this a lot, especially at lower levels of play and intermediate levels of play, but the communication on the ball.
Yeah.
Super important that it's harder. It's harder to call what ball is whose, right? There's that, and also it's space.
Yeah.
There's space in the middle.
Yep.
Obviously, we're not talking about balls that you want to dink there that are high and attackable. We're talking about unattackable dinks.
Right.
But the other thing that I've noticed is that you can hit like deeper dinks.
You can.
Without getting in trouble if you're mixing them in with wide dinks.
Correct.
So you got a cross court dink, maybe pull them a little bit cross court, then pull them to the middle. But yeah, that's my strategy tip. What are your thoughts about the middle dink?
I actually use it a lot. So I'm glad you said that because it's something I like to use frequently. One thing I take pride in with my pickleball game is that no matter what side of the court I'm on, I can dink cross court, I can dink middle, or I can dink straight on.
Yeah.
So personally, I use, the kind of go behind dink where either I'm going cross court and I'm trying to get them to move back left. And if I see them kind of shift left before I even hit that ball, now I can go middle, right? I can also kind of go cross court until this person in front of me maybe starts to move over and close middle a little bit. And now I can go behind them and go down their line.
Yeah.
Right. What it does for me is it sets up either just a defensive dink because they're out of position and they're off balance, or maybe I'm looking for the Ernie.
Oh, you're talking about from a middle dink and then pull them.
Either a middle dink where they try and go back cross court to my backhand, right? Or maybe if I can go behind someone, get them kind of reaching for that little forehand scoop dink where they're kind of just trying to look to pop it up my line and not get in trouble for it. And of course, they're going to get in trouble for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think I'm pretty sure, now I'm just going to shout out to Tyson McGuffin or Kyle McKenzie. I think they coined the inside foot phrase, but I don't know. Am I right on that?
If I've heard someone say inside foot about 2 million times, I think it'd be Tyson and Kyle.
Okay.
So I would say they've coined it. I would say it's their phrase.
Yeah. So when they're talking about the inside foot, they're really talking about middle. Let's just say, you and me, Caden, are playing and dinking towards the inside of the court.
Right.
Really, really smart. Again, just like what Caden said, if you're mixing it in with cross-court dinks and then you're dinking to that middle, you can really push your opponent back if you're hitting it the right way. And and to be honest, especially for right-handers, and I want everyone watching and listening to think about this. Usually you're going to be playing right-handers, but specifically on the even side or the deuce side or whatever you want to call it, if you're going cross-court to someone's forehand, pulling them out, you hit that middle dink towards their backhand,
right?
And it just neutralizes their opportunities to attack. I mean, you see that against the Johns against Matt Wright. They dink to that inside foot a lot. So
right,
yeah. Any other thoughts on that?
No, I love that. I think that's a really good tip for people who are either finding themselves, dumping dinks into the top of the net.
Yeah.
Right? You have that lower part of the net in the middle, right? And like you said, you can go a little bit deeper if you're mixing in your dinks, right? So you can kind of push people off of that kitchen line and get them in uncomfortable positions, because the dink on the inside foot is supposed to kind of jam someone in a way.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it does if they are to take that dink off the bounce. If they take it in the air, they probably have a better shot at it. But
yeah. All right. So that was my strategy tip of the day. Utilize more middle, and we'll be doing more videos on that. We have several on that. But now we're going to hop right into Caden's strategy.
It's actually Bond. James Bond.
James Bond's weekly tip here. All right, Caden, give it a go.
All right. Mine is very simple, but I'll explain why it's so important. And mine is when you are sitting in a ready position. If you are right-handed, your paddle position should be sitting at 11 o'clock. And if you're left-handed, you should be sitting at 1 o'clock. So what that does is that actually favors your backhand side by a little bit more than your forehand side.
Okay.
All right. Now I'll explain it. All right. The reason why we want to sit on backhand side is because, well, maybe you've heard this before, but you have a wider range of motion when you use and sit on your backhand. So if I had 4 blocks in front of me, right, I'd be able to cover pretty much 3.5 of those blocks with my backhand, while my forehand can cover only 1.5, right? So if I were to pick a spot to defend myself and I said, okay, I can only use my backhand or I can only use my forehand to defend myself, I would 1,000% pick my backhand any day of the week. So that's my quick tip. I don't know. I'm sure we think pretty alike on that one.
Yeah, really good, Caden. Obviously, this is something that I teach from the beginner levels all the way to advanced levels.
Right.
But again, when you're on the defense, especially when you're defending, when you're offense, on the offense, that you're going to get high balls. Could be a little bit different. We could talk about that on another podcast, but especially when, let's say, you and your partner are playing and your partner lifts up a ball, or any time that we think that we need to block, especially sit more on the backhand. You're gonna defend a lot more and get more balls back, and that honestly not goes for just at the non-volley zone line, but that goes for in transition. You see the likes of Riley Newman, Colin Johns, even Ben Johns, all the women, pro women out there, Annalie Waters, Catherine, when they're defending in transition, you want to be able to, drop to that backhand side, whether it's one hand or two, and you'll get a lot more balls back.
When you were taught pickleball, who taught you the ready position and what did it look like? Because I know exactly who taught me my first initial ready position, and I remember exactly what I did too.
Really? That's a good you know what? I don't think anyone taught me.
Okay.
But
just kind of.
But from tennis, I just at 12 o'clock was my natural ready position.
Right.
Now, for those of you listening, 12 o'clock would be you hold your paddle straight out. The tip of your paddle would be pointing directly in front of you. But so that can work too. But again, you're going to be getting so many balls to the body. It just makes sense to put on that back end. But what were you? So who taught you?
Rusty Nails.
Oh,
you remember Rusty?
Shoot,
a good old legend from the Bay Area. I actually haven't seen the guy in forever, but I hope he's doing well. Rusty, if you're out there, man, we love you.
Yeah, Rusty Lent.
We knew him as Rusty Nails because he used to write that on his balls, so no one would steal them.
That's funny.
Pickleballs, guys, pickleballs. But you know what he taught me?
Okay, what did he teach you?
This was when I first started.
Okay,
so I'm sure he's made some changes to his game, and I'm sure he's made some changes to his teaching style as well. But he actually told me to stick in the chicken wing position, the backhand position here. He told me to be here for ready position because this is just so fast. And I agree, but now I have no forehand. So I understand why the first 2 years of playing pickleball, I just got chicken winged every other point. I was just stuck here just going like this all the time. I had no forehand. And it wasn't till 2.5 years ago where I actually realized I got to put a forehand away. Okay, I can do that. I can try that. So now I actually have a forehand, but previously there was no forehand in my game whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I would say that's better than telling people how to just sit on their forehand.
It's true.
But Rusty's great. He's a great instructor. He teaches a lot of beginner players and intermediate level players. So shout out to Rusty.
Yeah.
A great ambassador of the game.
Yeah, he is.
Real quick,
really
this
is.
guy is I don't know. I don't hate to quote age, but he's like mid 70s.
No,
And
dude,
this
dude's
guy,
ripped.
this guy's ripped, like six pack.
Jacked.
Like,
he literally
he's-
walks to the court and like
Yeah.
takes off his shirt when it starts to get hot, and you're like, holy, who invited Superman?
Yeah. No, he looks like the Mr. Clean guy. That's what he
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah, he's like-
that's what he kind of looks like.
Yeah, that's actually super accurate.
Actually, shout out to Rusty because what you don't know, and this is a little teaser for all of you, but it may not be done till next year. But I'm doing a little back to the roots of a little documentary.
Whoa.
I'm working on how I got started in pickleball, starting in the Bay Area. I actually interviewed Rusty last summer, so
Featuring Rusty Lent, baby.
yeah. So
Let's go.
keep an eye on that.
Wait,
All right.
how come I wasn't in that? I was still picking. I was still in the Bay. Wait. No, I wasn't in the Bay last year. Never mind. No, we're good. We're clear. We're still
right.
friends.
Yeah, so good tip there. Have a good ready position. We also have a lot of videos on the ready position, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Now, quick transition. Okay, quick transition. We're gonna split step right here in the transition zone, and we have a announcement. You can see these mugs here if you're just listening. We have some Starbucks cups here. Now, Starbucks not a sponsor, but Starbucks, if you would like to reach out to us, brionespickleball@gmail.com.
We're listening.
But seriously, for those of you out there that are enjoying the podcast and you know somebody that is wanting to get in the pickleball game, we are currently seeking out some big sponsors for our podcast and our YouTube channel. So you can just email us at brionespickleball@gmail.com, or we'll actually have either that, or we'll probably make a little Google form there for you to fill out if you know anyone who would like us to sponsor one of the biggest YouTube channels and podcasts in pickle.
Boom.
There's that. And then last thing here, next announcement, we got a coaching announcement, special coaching opportunities. I am here today to summon, I don't even know if that's the right word, appoint
Okay.
Kaden Nemeth.
Wait a second.
Let's go.
That's me, guys. Thank you so much.
So Kaden Nemeth is actually joining the Briones Pickleball team. So you will see him in future videos on the Briones Pickleball channel, not just a podcast, but teaching on the court.
No way.
And you will, he's going to be a big part of what we do here. Super excited to have him on board. And two things for coaching opportunities for you all you listening out there and watching. Number one, the 2-day intensives. We're still running those through the end of the year. If you want a full 2-day intensive experience with me, a small 4-to-1 ratio, and you would like to come to Arizona or Colorado Springs this summer,
Doesn't sound that bad.
Yeah, you could come and train with me, mano y mano, and then I can dissect and take apart your game, and I can help excel you to that next level.
That's right.
So there's that, 2-day intensives. You could go to brionespickleball.com. Also, Kaden is going to be teaching some camps and clinics all across the country.
That's right.
Maybe out of the country. Actually, out of the country as well. So we'll have a form in the link below, or you can just go to brionespickleball.com. And if you would like Kaden to travel to your town, to your facility,
That's right.
just fill out the form there or email us. Send us an email. And then you know what? We will reach out to you. And
That's right.
Kaden will be traveling your way.
Yeah, what's that line people say? I'm here for a good time and a long time.
Okay.
Changing the line up.
I like that. So Kaden, you've been doing this a long time now. You've taught players from 2-0 all the way to 4-5, 5-0.
Yeah.
What can players expect? Taking one of your clinics, you're gonna be traveling around. If you want Caden to come to there, what can they expect, man?
Yeah. Personally, I am a very technical pickleball coach. So I am not going to be that coach who's there to necessarily make it super duper easy and fun and quick learning, but it's going to be harder, right? Like I teach my beginner one students who literally have never played a day of pickleball in their life. By like the third week, I'm like trying to get them to serve like how I serve normally. And that's, I mean, if that's not something you're capable of, then sure, we can make adjustments. But the reason why I like to teach pickleball is because I see so much pickleball taught incorrectly.
Yeah.
And for me, I want to teach pickleball correctly. So right off the bat, whether you're a beginner or an intermediate or an advanced player, I love to dissect technique and kind of go through it and fix it so we can get rid of either bad habit or the possibility of bad habit.
Yeah.
I see way too many pickleball players who are missing key aspects to their game because either they taught themselves how to do it the first time or they took lessons from someone who didn't, tell them how to do it correctly. Like it's refreshing actually to kind of teach someone something new and have them understand something that they probably didn't understand beforehand, right? Like a serve for us is easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy for everybody. You know what I mean? So I personally, I'm a very patient person unless you put me behind a steering wheel. But what I'm trying to say is whether you get it in the first 5 minutes or it takes an hour and a half to get down a serve, I'm there for it. I love it. I'm all for it.
All right. So Caden's there. Great teacher. He's obviously playing on the Pro Tour, so he's very knowledgeable about strategy, tactical things. You can ask him anything if he goes out to your area and teaches you. And one thing I can say, great personality, really fun to be around, and just a nice young man overall.
Such kind words, Jordan.
Yeah. So, wow. But seriously, if you want him, just check the links below or go to brionespickleball.com.
Sweet.
All right. So now we're just gonna hop right in. There's several things to get to today, but let's just quickly talk about the Schick show that just happened.
Did you just say a bad word?
I almost did, but I added a Schick.
Oh,
okay.
You need to play the beep as you did. Beep, beep.
Yeah.
Beep.
Yeah. So the Schick show, we got and if you don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about the last PPA, and it was PPA.
It was called the Red Clay Open
in Florida.
In Florida, correct.
In Florida, in the U.S. here. Colin Schick,
Probably don't even recognize him with the tennis racket, but wait till you see him with the pickleball paddle.
Yeah. So real quick, Colin Schick here, just to look up a few things. Hometown, North Carolina. Excuse me. Height 6'2". Man, he's pretty tall, man. Man, if I had that height.
I wish I was 6'2", personally.
Man. Okay, but anyways, he played for North Carolina.
North Carolina State University.
North Carolina State.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why we're talking about him right now, and you're seeing him on the screen here, is because he basically did something that's never been done in pickleball history. He made it to the championship finale against Ben Johns, working his way through the qualifier.
Yeah.
So again, we talked about the qualifier in previous
having to win 2 or 3
episodes.
matches in the qualifier.
Yeah, so he showed up at 7 a.m. and made it through the qualifier and beat some crazy players. And we're actually going to get to the draw here.
Yep.
So he makes it to Championship Sunday against Ben Johns and takes a game off Ben, and it's just crazy. So shout out to Colin. Here's
another random name. Christopher Haworth beat Frank Anthony Davis and Ryan Sherry.
Oh my goodness.
And took a game off Pablo Tejas, which, there's so much talent in these singles draws these days.
Wow. The new generation of pickleball, the new wave of pickleball is coming. But let's just look at Colin Schick's run here. He beats Wyatt Stone. Good player, 11-3, 11-2.
Blowout.
He beats this guy, Jason. Not sure who he is. Gary Oat or something like that. Julie goes through Julian Arnold. 3 games there.
That was his first upset of the day right
First
there.
upset of the day. I mean, Julian Arnold.
He was getting some hype already on that.
Is already a top player, top 5 singles player probably.
Yeah.
Then goes through Dylan Frazier in 3 games, and then makes it to championship Sunday. Now, against Ben Johns, he wins the first game, and then Ben beats him 11-3, 11-0.
Right.
But so Ben turned it up. But either way, amazing. Amazing Cinderella story there.
He played 7 matches. He played 7 matches to play Ben in the gold medal match.
Yeah, so I don't know. So this just goes to show you the talent is on the rise. Again, if you're a tennis player out there in high level, and no shade to Colin Schick, but you know, I'm not sure if he was in the top of his tennis, you know, when it comes to rankings and stuff. I think he was probably pretty average when it comes to D1, but you can just see how his skills just translate. You just translated really well.
His court coverage was absolutely insane. I don't know if it's because he's 23 or, you know, but like, I mean, he's a much better singles player than Sam Querrey, and Sam Querrey was top in the world at one point. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I mean,
yep. It's really interesting. It's really interesting to see how different players translate to the game. Obviously, it translated really well for him. Honestly, I don't know if you saw, but Frank Anthony Davis, shout out to Fad.
He was taking his order on the sideline.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe they train with each other. Maybe he was giving him some pointers.
Frank is in New York.
Yeah, I don't know. New York and North Carolina, not too far away. I don't know. Anyways, I saw Frank Anthony Davis on the sideline, and he must have been training with him or something. And again, head to head against Ben Johns isn't an easy task, but what we saw is a little coaching maybe from the side. Colin Schick, a few things I noticed. Again, this is just really interesting. With any tennis players coming in the game, it just blows my mind, but I did the same exact thing.
Yeah.
When you come in, he has a great game, everything.
Right.
But the serve. Again, it's just so funny because when these tennis players come in,
and they just baby their serves.
They just baby the serve in, but then they get a forehand, they blast it. So
I know.
Colin Schick, James Ignatowicz, work on your serve. Just hit your serves like a forehand, and then you're going to get a lot more easier points. And hey, that could have we would never know what happened. So I'm sure he's going to be working on that. Also, he was sponsored by Selkirk, so good pickup there. I don't know if they've signed him officially or not, but I'll tell you after this.
He's probably going to Selkirk and saying, "Hey, let me see that Tyson McGuffin money."
Yeah. So shout out to Colin Schick. 2-handed backhand. Another thing I saw. Great court coverage, great anticipation, and even his angle shots. Obviously, his kitchen game in singles isn't going to compare to Ben's yet, but man, he had some great points there.
Yeah, no question.
All right, so now let's just go right into the partnership that lasted one tournament.
I think it was 3.
Oh, was it 3?
Yeah. 2. It was 2.
Riley?
Riley
and Anna Bright. So if you haven't heard, Riley Newman, Anna Bright.
No, I'm sorry. It was 3.
Okay.
They played 3 together. They played...
not this year, though.
Yeah, they played JW Marriott, they played Legacy, and they played Minnesota.
Okay, all right.
Yep. They got bronze at JW. Mm-hmm. They got gold at Legacy, and then they didn't place in Minnesota.
Okay, yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah, so
it's a short book.
Yeah, Riley Newman, top player in the men's game. Anna Bright, top player in the women's game. They tried it out, and you know what? Maybe little James Ignatowicz has something to do with it. You know, we got a new couples domination here.
Yeah.
We'll see how James Ignatowicz and Anna Bright fare out the rest of the season. Obviously, the other 2 couples is Julian Arnold and Lauren Stratman.
Yep.
And Matt Wright and Lucy Kovalova.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that plays out. But that's interesting. I mean, you know, things didn't go as planned. And I honestly think it could have worked. But
I think so too. I honestly, I mean, you know me. I I love Riley, and honestly, I was a big believer in kind of what that team could become because I thought that was going to be the team. I mean, I think everybody thought that was going to be the team that rivaled Annalee and Ben this year. You know what I mean? And I mean, they got a gold, they got a bronze. Like, you know, the Minnesota tournament, I could see where that was kind of a frustrating point where, you know, Riley has played with Catherine before.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Anna has played with James before. It's kind of like, you know, playing against your old partners here. And unfortunately, they couldn't get the job done. And I think that one was kind of the deal breaker, which I don't think it should have been. I would have liked to see them stay together for a little bit longer. But you know what? I am a big believer in everything happens for a reason. So I'm sure it will all work out in due time.
All right. Now let's hop right into the AZ boys.
Woo. Actually, these are your Tempe Tornadoes.
That's the upset alert. Anyways, AC boys there. We got Craig Johnson, the local Arizona native, and Kyle Kazuda. So they actually got their chance against the Johns brothers on championship court. I think that was a cool experience for them.
Yeah.
And what we saw is the longest rally probably to date here. Let's see here. Anyways, we'll try to get that going.
Should we zoom in a little bit more?
Yeah, let's see what we got here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, we saw local boys from AZ, and we've played a lot with them.
Oh, yeah.
Craig and Kyle.
I play with them probably every week.
Okay, so you play with them a lot more than me. But anyways, we saw them play against the Johns, and we have a 109-shot rally. I don't know who counted. I mean, someone had time on their hands, but...
Someone said, yeah, I'm not doing anything today. I'll just count how many balls were hit in this rally.
Yeah, so I know it's
1,
not
2, 3, 4.
It's not the best here, but we saw Ben and... Ben Johns and Craig Johnson kind of going back and forth forever.
Ben's just like, yep, I'm just drilling with this Craig guy. Just met him today, but
cross court dinks. And guys, if
needed some reps.
Yeah, if you don't think that drilling your cross court dinks is important, let's just this is just a great example of good cross court dinks. But regardless, going against head to head against the John brothers is isn't a simple task.
No, they're actually up 9-8 in this game too.
Yeah, so they were up a game. Obviously, the Johns closed it out.
They did.
But any thoughts about just this 109-shot rally?
Kaden? It may just be dinking, but this is a lot harder than most people think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at this. Now the point gets a little bit more exciting. Oh, just kidding. We're back into the dinking. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, what was just really interesting here, and we just talked about in the strategy tip, dinking more middle. We're seeing it a little bit here. We're seeing a little bit more movement, but that was kind of the weird thing where I saw Ben Johns literally hitting 12 to 15 to even 20.
Look, they're back at it.
Dinks cross court.
Yeah.
So there's more movement here, but in the very beginning, I wasn't sure why Ben was hitting like over 10 cross-court dinks in a row and not
trying to get warmed up for that next match.
Yeah. But shout out again to Craig and Kyle.
They balled out, man. They played really, really well.
Yep, you guys balled out to get here.
Oh, yeah, hands.
Oh,
hands.
and then
oh, finish him off.
And then Craig finishes it with the forehand.
Get the crowd hyped. Wearing the Tempe Tornadoes jerseys. I love it.
Let's go, Craig. Let's go.
For those, honestly, I was looking at the comment section for the AZ boys wearing their AZ jerseys.
Yeah.
For those who were dogging on Craig and Kyle, don't be a hater. Don't hate. Appreciate.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right? That jersey has meaning, and a deeper meaning than maybe some of you guys might know about. So, don't dog it till you try it. And you don't need to try the jersey, but I'm just saying, the jersey is for a specific thing that is coming up. That is very cool.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Kind of brought up, not that I wasn't supposed to bring up, but I brought up.
All right, we're going to talk about that soon, but we're going to hop right into men's pro doubles. Obviously, the Johns get it done again. So they're undefeated this year, I believe. So is that three PPAs in a row or 4?
That would be...
I think 3.
3.
Yep. So 3 PPAs in a row. And
they didn't play Minnesota.
No, yeah, you're right. So you know what? The Johns still an unstoppable force. One thing that makes them, or let's talk about this, Caden. Ben Johns, Colin Johns. What are 2 things that you think that just makes them virtually, okay, because they've been beaten, but virtually unbeatable at this stage in pickleball? What are 2 things that you could point out for the viewers learning the game? 2 things that they do very, very well. Of course, they're athletic.
2 things?
Yeah, of course they're athletic. Of course, they're great hands, but 2 things.
Consistency.
There you go.
I wasn't going to say great hands, but I was going to say hand speed.
Okay.
And then I would say partner chemistry.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
Want to break so consistency, obviously being consistent, hitting your shots and things like that. But do you want to why is there what makes their partner chemistry kind of like different or above everyone else's?
Well, I think one thing that a lot of people notice about Ben is that he can take 3/4 of the court and pretty much beat almost every doubles team in the United States still. You know what I mean? And so when him and Colin originally partnered up, I think Colin had been kind of working towards it, but I think Ben didn't feel like he was quite ready. And this was when Ben was still kind of playing with Kyle a little bit.
And Matt Wright.
You're right. And I think finally Ben kind of looked at him and said, "Hey, like, here's what I'm good at. Here's what I'm capable of. Here's the one thing that I could really use out of a good partner," right? Because no offense to Matt Wright, but when I first watched Ben and Matt play together, they were terrible. And it was because Ben wanted the left side, which personally, if I were playing with Ben, I would give it to him too.
Yeah.
But Matt also wanted to play the left side.
Yeah.
Because he prefers the left side.
Yeah, they were both really, really good left side or odd side players.
Right.
So they had to,
Well, you basically took the 2 best players in the world, who usually are like the dom on the teams, right? Or the alphas, I should say. And now you needed one to be the alpha and one to be and it just didn't work. It didn't work.
Yeah.
And so I think right after that little trial and error in 2020, in 2021, Ben kind of said, work towards this. This is what I need. This is what, you need to do. This is, I can do all this. I just need you to be here for this and for that and to be ready for this. And I think he trained him into kind of what he is. And that is, I mean, people like to toss around and make the joke of, Colin and Colin's brother, or, Ben and his brother from Burger King. Who knows what people say, but it's pretty wild, actually. I will say pickleball people have no filter, which personally I love, but I would never say. But anyway, I think Colin is the perfect complement to Ben.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He is the milk to the cookies. He is the bolognese sauce to your noodles. He's
the matcha to the latte.
He's the matcha to the latte. Exactly. You know what I mean?
So let's talk about that too. And for those of you that play tournaments and things like that, finding a partner you have good chemistry with is difficult.
Yeah.
And we talked about that on the last podcast, Caden. Remember I asked you, would you rather play with the best player or maybe the best, what did we say, most compatible player, the best partner? That's what it was.
I think the question was it was more like, oh, would you rather play with the best player with the worst attitude, or like like a player who's good but not as good as the best player, but with like a great attitude? Yeah.
So compatibility matters. And again, one thing that you see about the Johns, so let's just take their situation or their partnership, for example. Like Caden said, Ben covers a lot of the court, especially the middle balls, to put pressure.
Yep.
And Colin, very, very underrated as a player, I think. But obviously, I think he has some of the best resets in the game.
Yeah.
Top 2 or 3. I mean, Riley, I put him there. And best cross-court dinks in the game.
Right.
On the forehand side. So when you put those two together, for Ben, Colin is just a setup guy.
Yeah, right.
He's just a setup guy. And when people attack Colin, he's gotten better on his counters.
Yep.
And so he can counter, and then you'll see him slide to his right. Let Ben take everything forehand, and if he needs to take anything, he'll take it with his backhand. So
Right.
it just complements really, really well. So when you're, strategically and tactically, when you're finding a partner, when you're looking for someone, find out like what side they like, and it doesn't have to be as, crazy as Ben Johns and Colin Johns, because those of you out there watching and playing, you're probably not going to take that much of the court. You don't need to.
No.
To be a good team, you just need to know your roles,
Yep.
what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and try to manage that and put you guys in the best position to win.
Absolutely.
So, so Ben Johns and Colin Johns get the gold. Julian Arnold, Thomas Wilson, silver, and Dylan Frazier and J.W. Johnson, bronze. And right now, we're going to talk about why seeding matters. And there was a big controversy in this tournament. Riley Newman played with, who do we got here?
One of his team owners.
Yeah, he played with a team owner here, and they put Riley Newman as the number 2 seed, which a lot of people did not like, and I kind of understand here. So he played with Tim Parks. I think he's the owner of one of the
Of the Hard Eights.
of the MLP teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe Tim just paid for the experience or wanted to just play with Riley Newman. But here's the problem here. So Ben, Colin Johns, obviously their number 1 seed. Riley Newman with this, I'm not going to say nobody, but with a player who has 0 experience, just on the pro tour at all, they put him at number 2. And what that did,
that's pretty cool.
what that did though, is that put, Deckelbar, AJ Kohler, and J.W. Johnson and Dylan Frazier on the same side of the draw, which is actually,
oh my God.
Yeah. So
one side of the bracket was stacked. Wait, one side of the bracket had Ben and Colin, AJ and Deckel,
yeah.
and JW and Dylan.
Yeah, and McGuff and Ignatowicz.
Oh my God.
So seeding matters, and I don't know how PPA is going to handle this. I guarantee you they're not going to do this next time. But if Riley or any other top player decides to do that again, you got to seed them accordingly. Maybe they use duper. Maybe they use some sort of other thing. But it was definitely a problem. A lot of people were frustrated about it. Obviously, Dylan Frazier, J.W. Johnson, they played Ben Johns and Colin Johns in the semis.
Wow.
And then in the quarters, or maybe even before that, the Johns brothers had to play on Deckelbar and AJ Kohler. So you had one side that was really, really stacked up against the Johns, and then you had the other side. Now, shout out to Julian Arnold and Thomas Wilson, but they were on the draw that had a lot less talent, I would say, or just
less big names for sure.
Less big names.
Yeah.
And I do want to, I did watch some matches here. Shout out to, I don't know if you saw this, but DJ Young and Zaim Navratil. I saw them. They got 4th.
Yeah.
They got 4th.
They had a good tournament.
You know what? They had, their chemistry was good. Their chemistry was good. Zane played lights out, and I'm just seeing this now, but 9-11 in the third.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they, DJ Young.
It was very much in hand.
Yeah, and Zane, they could have easily played the Johns in the championship. And
Julian and Thomas, I actually really like that team. It's Team Mad Drop for MLP, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. That team is actually pretty dirty.
No, they're good.
Pretty dirty.
They're good. Obviously, the championship match score was 8, 6, and 9.
Those are all good scores, just not good enough scores.
The Johns again. Oh, you know what? You said your 2 things. I didn't say my 2 things. Why I thought the Johns were
Oh,
or
yeah,
what they
you're
are
right.
today.
You didn't. What the heck?
Yeah, you're right. So you said what makes the Johns brothers so good? You said, well,
I said
consistency and
team chemistry, and hand speed. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's 3, but
I know. Sorry.
okay. So number 1
Okay.
would be for me is what makes Ben and Colin John so good and what has kept them at the top and will keep them at the top for who knows how long. The first thing I would say is fundamentals.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is just fundamentally hitting the shots that they should.
Right.
Like they don't go for anything crazy actually.
Yeah.
Now they have Ben, obviously they have misdirection, they have things, but he'll hit a drive when it's necessary. He'll hit drops when it's necessary.
Right.
You actually don't see these guys attacking from transition often.
Pickleball IQ is out of this
because
world.
they know that they don't need to.
Right.
That's why I think.
Right.
And obviously it's smart to get up to the line, but you just see them so disciplined.
Right.
And then the other thing, and number 2, which kind of goes hand in hand, what makes them so good is playing the long game, patience. Okay, so that goes hand in hand. One of probably the most patient teams ever.
Yeah.
You know, they know that they could grind out points. And again, both of them very, very aggressive. Now, there's a difference between just being patient
Right.
and looking for opportunities to always attack, but being patient at
Yep.
the same time.
For sure.
I think early in my career when I played, even the 5-0 tournaments when I first started, I was in a mindset of like playing and just getting every ball back and
Right.
letting them miss.
Right.
And that beat some 5-0 teams.
Yeah.
But like as I kept playing, you have to learn how to put pressure and pull the trigger.
Yeah. Well, even when you started playing in those 5-0 tournaments, back then, like
Yeah.
the 5-0 level, they would make those mistakes for you. I don't even think the 5-0 level today would do that for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
So like
gotten
it
harder,
just
for
shows
sure.
you like the progress and I should say the progress and the process of pickleball. You know what I mean? You're really seeing how pickleball's evolutionizing in front of our face.
Yeah. Evolutionizing or evolving, whatever word you want to use there.
Evolutionizing.
I like it.
I just said that.
I like it. All right, so we're gonna hop into mixed doubles pro. I don't think any crazy surprises here. Anna Lee Waters, Ben Johns gold, Catherine Peranto, Tyson McGuffin silver.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know this one. Jesse Irvin and Jade Delivier.
Yeah. So it
Bronze.
looks like Jesse and AJ also broke up.
I don't know about that one. We'll have to get back to you here. But you know what? Shout out to T Mac. Shout out to Tyson McGuffin. He's coming off the injury.
Yep.
Great showing in mix.
He's back from the dead, man.
Yeah.
Came out of nowhere and just pulled out a silver medal in mixed. I mean, he didn't play singles. So
Oh, he didn't.
I mean,
Really?
I think it was kind of just to rest the ankle and
Okay.
not strain it too hard in his first tournament back. But yeah, man, him and Catherine looked really, really
Yeah.
good.
Catherine's just, you know what? As I'm starting to see more and more, she's just a really good mixed player. She's solid. So we have,
New partnership in Paris.
oh
Todd
yeah,
and Riley
Paris Todd,
Newman.
Riley Newman. So that was their first time partnering up, and they played Georgia and J.W. Johnson. They lost against them. So, Tyson McGuffin and Catherine, they had to go through Anna Bright and James Ignatowicz, and they went through the Johnsons, which is no easy task. So great wins there. And I honestly think that, you know what, Ben Johns actually had the easier side here. Well, there's so many good mixed teams nowadays. So
Yeah.
there's
Wow.
so many.
That's an interesting first round win. Mary Brasha and Federico beat Dylan and Jade. That's actually a really good win. I don't think Dylan and Jade thought they would have lost that, but
Hey, what we can say is there's so many
there's so much talent.
good
It's
teams,
crazy.
good talent now. So
There's so much good.
if you're going to start
talent.
train now. All right. So now we're going to hop right into the women's doubles pro, and we got Catherine Peranto and Annalie Waters as gold. And I think, honestly, somewhat of a upset alert.
Yeah.
Would you say Lacey,
Yeah.
Sheeman, and Jade
Yeah.
Kawamoto?
I don't think they were,
Silver?
projected to take silver this tournament. But hey,
No.
honestly, if you guys don't know who Lacey Sheeman is, wow, that was hard to say. Sheeman is, she is a baller. I actually played against her in San Clemente last year.
Oh, a mixed, right?
In mixed, yeah.
So
And she was on fire. I don't think she missed a shot.
wow.
I don't think she missed a shot. And like after I met her, I was like, hey, like, would you want to play like maybe some tournaments this year or next year? She was like, yeah, sure. And then I think like a month later, like Paris Todd got injured for like Team BLQK.
Uh-huh.
And she like stepped in because obviously she lives in SoCal. So I think they like, she was like
okay.
first alternate or something. So she got to play and she shined under the lights, man. Like she immediately started getting pickleball attention. She, was now a, bigger name in the sport.
Yeah.
I mean, just off one tournament, just off one MLP tournament. I mean, she got picked up by a different team. She was starting to play with, some bigger names.
Yeah.
So personally, I'm not surprised, but I am really happy for her because I think she's fully kind of showing what she's capable of, and what
her game I don't know. You know what her game kind of reminds me of a little bit?
Give it to me.
Elise Jones.
Huh.
Does it kind of just game style?
Yeah. I would say I think she's a little bit more offensive than Elise.
Is she?
I think so. Which is funny because she's not that tall either. But I think personally, she's got a really good like forehand roll. Super solid dinker. Great third shot drop and drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. She hits the ball pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so Lacey and Jade get silver, and they beat
A lot of good teams.
Leah Jansen and Elise Jones.
Yeah.
11.
They beat Anna Bright, Paris Todd. Yeah, they beat good teams, man.
Oh my goodness.
This is a name right here. Hurricane Tyra Black.
Oh.
Do you guys know who that is?
Go ahead.
She is a former professional tennis player.
Yep.
She has a sister as well, who also plays on the pro tennis tour. I believe she just retired from playing professional tennis.
So, yeah, you know what? This is a good segment. I did hear about her, and she played. I remember in this tournament she played Annalie Waters.
She got double bageled.
She
also, I think, right before this tournament, got picked up by an MLP team.
Well, yeah.
So all I'm saying is MLP, maybe do a little bit more homework on who you're picking up before you guys just decide to pick someone up. So, if you guys are in the market, there's this guy. His name is Caden Nemeth. He's actually going by James Bond today.
Episode 007.
That's right. He would have some interest, and he would kick ass. Oh, am I allowed to say that?
Sure. Why not?
Sorry, kick butt
There you go.
for your team. All I'm saying right now is I'm a baseball player. I love the team atmosphere. All right. I love when crowds get rowdy. I live for the booze. I live for the screams. I live for just pickleball.
Yeah, actually, we're gonna break down some of Caden's professional matches coming up, and we're gonna get right into that. But yeah, so right. MLP, you guys need someone. Caden Nemeth is a free agent here.
I'm your guy.
Yeah. So again, going back to this, really, really good. Leah Jansen, Elise Jones. You know what? I see them on the medal stand every time.
Yeah.
They're just so consistent.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, they've looked like a really good team this year. Not a team I would have expected.
No, not at all, but great.
Pretty cool.
Great chemistry. And we're going back to the chemistry thing. I think Leah and Elise, probably on the women's side, have one of the best chemistry.
Right. For sure.
Most chemistry on the women's side.
Well, you look at Catherine and Annalie, and you look at it, and you're kind of like, okay, well, that's just like the number 1 and 2 player in the world right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you look at Leah and Elise, you kind of you look at it and you're like, that team could get fourth place. And then they come out of nowhere and, their team chemistry, their hand speed, their consistency.
They've medaled every PPA,
They've medaled
right?
every single PPA. They've done it every single one.
All right, so now we're just hop right into women's singles pro. Annalie Waters for gold. Leah Jansen. Oh my gosh, I am so used to saying that. I was just kidding. Actually, upset alert.
What?
That is so funny.
I was like, what did
you know
just
what
say?
is so funny? I'm so used to saying that.
I believe it.
So I'm gonna retract what I just said.
We're going to rewind.
So upset alert, Catherine Peranto. Sorry, Catherine.
Wow.
Catherine Peranto, 4 gold.
Yeah.
Leah Jansen, silver. Salome Device, 4 bronze. And you know what is so crazy? So again, the last time someone beat Annalie Waters was a long time ago, and it was Paris Todd, I believe.
Yeah.
And Catherine, I don't know how many times Catherine has lost to Annalie, but she has finally defeated her. And that was 11-7, 11-9. She just played lights out.
She did. It's one of those games where, when you play someone and you feel like you played well, but at the end of the day, you're just like, dude, that person, I don't think missed the ball.
Yeah, so shout out to Selkirk sponsored Catherine Peranto. And then again, about the dropouts, we saw Annalie Waters. I don't know, thoughts on this. We talked about this last time. But after she lost, she didn't go on to play for bronze or anything like that. She just dropped out, trying to rest, get ready for other matches. So interesting. We will see if that continues to be a trend or not.
I think it will be, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know Caden's not
my favorite thing, but you know what?
Yeah.
I do love AL and the Water family, so I do understand where they're coming from, and I understand that, playing 3 events does become a lot on the body.
I mean, a little bit,
Yeah, I get it. But you know what? Jump in a cold ice bath.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Well, there's one solution. I'm sure they do that already. Actually, probably
They probably do. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If it were me, I'd finish the day.
Yeah.
Even if that means I lose.
So, Leah Jansen and Salome Device, you know what? One thing, so there's so much controversy when they're playing singles. I don't know if you saw this again, Caden, but every time they play, there is line call controversy. And I heard, I don't know if you can let me know if this is correct, but I heard they got extra line judges for their match.
You are 100% correct.
I am, right? I
you
heard
are 100%
that.
Correct.
Like, I don't.
They had 2 line judges on the baseline calling sidelines, and then they had they had 2 line judges on the baseline to see for baseline on each side too. So they basically put the whole tournament on pause and said, "Hold on, we need all of our refs to get together onto center court."
They pulled all the line judges from every match and just said, "Hey, we need to be on top of this."
They probably made a special announcement. They were like, "Pickleball players, we are putting the tournament on pause for the Salome Device and Leah Jansen match. Play will resume in whenever the match is done. Thank you."
That's okay. Yeah. So I don't know. They had a lot of controversies. I saw just a few highlights, and in, out. They were going at it. But you know what?
First point, Leah Jansen screamed at her after hitting a passing shot.
Again,
it's a little bit of a scary scream. I'm not going to lie.
Again, it's like, MOP, the first, was here in Mesa. Mm-hmm. They did a good job with the slow-mo replays. I don't understand. So PPA, I don't understand why you don't just get one slow motion camera on each baseline and then on the sideline. So that would be a total of
$250,000. Come on, Ben. PPA, you got that. Come on.
But it doesn't even have to be this high. Again, MOP did it good, and you can see from the slow-mo replay, just give everyone one challenge a game.
Can I be honest? MLP is miles ahead of any single pickleball tour on the planet.
Yeah. So I don't know, but again, Hawkeye, I know that technology is expensive.
Would be dope though.
But again, at least get some sort of challenge. Like, it's just crazy.
It would be a game changer.
It is crazy. Now, let's hop right in to... So we talked about that already, and we're going to talk about Ben Johns again, men's singles. Yeah, like we said, Ben Johns
Triple crown. Again.
Did he triple crown it? He did triple crown it. Ben Johns with the triple crown again, and then Colin Schick for silver men's pro. Shout out to Pablo Tellez.
Yeah, man.
Is it Tellez?
Tellez.
You know, Pablo, shout out to him. Lefty, southpaw.
Dude, he's filthy.
And he's
really good.
He got bronze. So, again, really, really deep.
Oh, dude, he lost to Ben 9-8 too. Like, that's close. Like, that's a good match.
Wow. Man, it's going to be interesting to see Pablo.
Went through Jay, went through Christopher Haworth.
Oh, dude, what big upset. Dude, you know what? We have to go. I'm going to have to keep my eye on Christopher because, like, who just beats Ryan Sherry and Frank Anthony Davis like that?
Yeah, right?
Dude, and he took Pablo to 3.
Yeah.
Christopher Haworth, man, he must.
Good for you, my man.
It's got to be D1 player.
Yeah.
Tennis player, dude.
I would assume so.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, again, it's getting harder and harder, and it's just really interesting. But we saw the number, what is he, number 38 seed or number 30 seed,
yeah.
Colin Schick, go all the way to championship final.
I think that's actually the lowest seed in the bracket. Let's see. Go up.
Oh, yeah, because he came from qualifier, yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. There's a 31,
31.
seed. But he's literally the second to last seed.
So.
Oh, never mind. Third to last. There's a 32 seed.
Okay, so shout out to the Schick Show, Colin Schick again. Kudos to you, man.
Yeah.
Kudos to you.
Really impressive.
Now we're going to hop right in to...
Oh, now we can talk about it.
Well, not yet. Not yet.
Just kidding.
Actually,
just kidding.
we're going to... There was a post. There was a post going around, and you said several pros tweeted. So, listeners, watchers out there, let's get your take on this. What do you think is the bigger advantage, PED or illegal paddles? You know?
Yeah.
We saw this. Was it an Instagram kind of back and forth?
I think it was Twitter originally.
Twitter, yeah.
You got some pickleball players on Twitter nowadays.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts, Caden, for that?
Personally, we haven't found that, any players are taking steroids right now. And personally, I mean, the PPA I don't think is in any position to start doing that because it's, one, really expensive, and two, it's really annoying for players. But that being said, I've always said that pickleball should be a sport that requires testing for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's definitely got to get there.
I would say personally my answer is paddles right now. But that being said, I mean, who knows? We could have players that are taking steroids and we would have absolutely no clue.
Yeah. So
because there's no testing.
Yep. So that's one thing. Again, these players aren't getting like bulked up. That's not the kind of steroids. I think it's just you're talking about just
stamina. It's
endurance, yeah.
Endurance, strength. It's not like, let me put on 30 pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
Like as a baseball player, I've read a lot about what PEDs do and how people get caught for it. And I mean, even Major League Baseball players are finding ways to find substitutions for steroids that aren't being caught.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I could definitely see where pickleball is one of those sports where someone could say, oh well, hey, I'm a good pickleball player, but I'm trying to get over that hump. What do I need to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would say right now, the answer is paddle. Over a long-term effect, definitely steroids. PEDs is a whole different... I mean, I could go out there and take PEDs and I could play with the Z5 Onyx paddle and I would probably go out and win the whole damn thing.
Maybe.
I'm not planning on doing that, just so you guys know. But I mean, steroids has that effect. I mean, you look at baseball players. You've seen good baseball players turn into freaking faces of Major League Baseball for...
Yeah, but that's for home runs and hits like that, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's power. It's still
power.
all the same stuff that we're trying to accomplish with pickleball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I could name 5 players right now who were absolute studs and then got caught for steroids. And then once they came back, once they came back, they were just average guys.
3.5 at best.
Ryan Braun, Melky Cabrera, Alex Rodriguez. I mean,
yeah, I don't know any of those guys. I don't follow baseball.
Fair enough.
I only follow pickleball people.
Fair enough.
All right.
We'll see about Fernando Tatis. That man just got called.
Yeah. So PED or paddle. Talking about paddles, illegal paddles. There's a plethora of them out there.
There's too many.
Sad. Again, this is another thing that we are gonna see how that plays out.
Dude, I felt a Yola vision yesterday while I was giving Will Schaefer a lesson. That thing literally felt like I was touching sandpaper.
Did it?
Dude, it was so rough. I felt like
they don't all feel like that though.
If I just like rubbed it against my knee really fast, it'd give me a cut. I'm not kidding. It was so rough. It felt like oh my gosh, it felt like the top of a skateboard.
Yeah. Well, not just that, right? I'm talking about pros in general. Their paddles, how they may be from. I don't know what the process is here when it comes to. Yeah, I'm not sure what the process here is. Every PPA tournament, if they're checking everyone still, but obviously there was a lot of talk about that.
Personally, I don't think the PPA gives a crap about paddle grit or whatnot. Like literally, have you seen how USAPA referees check your paddle? Let me see your hand.
Hey,
that's how they check it.
I know. Yeah.
Your hand. Yeah. This is your paddle. Yep, you're good.
Hey, I'll tell you what, that's better than what's probably happening right now.
Yeah, but how on your hand are you supposed to tell that, oh yeah, that's too gritty? You're just feeling a paddle and you're just going to say, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see where the sport goes. Obviously, there has to be some way to measure it in real time and probably within a matter of minutes. Like that would be good when they show up to the court.
Just a scanner?
Yeah, or they got to come up with some sort of technology to do it in front of everyone. Should be part of the process, maybe.
You would think, right?
Right, they walk on the court, hand their paddles in.
Yeah, put a little scanner on it. Oh, yep, under 36, good. Under 36, good.
Yeah, and they don't have to do it like live in front of TV. They just do it before they play. I don't know. So we'll see on that one.
Find out who gets called out, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And about that, we saw, who was it? Was it Rafa Hewitt in a singles match challenging the legality of Zane Navratil?
Yeah.
His paddle. Oh man, I wish I had the video up because he just little spin toss,
like a little paddle drop,
little slight abuse of the paddle.
It's
but
like, yeah, I just beat you 11-3, 11-2, like paddle drops.
So a pro level match, we had Rafa Hewitt versus Zane Navratil.
It looks like Rafa is also like just signed with Adidas, like for the whole shebang.
I'll tell you what, with that big Adidas logo on that paddle, it looks a little funny. It looks a little.
I would assume that Adidas's paddles are not good.
Yeah.
I've heard some things about them, and what I've heard is not good. So we're hoping that, Rafa can get the paddle situation figured out, because I know that those paddles are probably holding him back a little bit, especially with what he was previously using.
Hey, if he was frustrated about the paddle, I could see why he would challenge Zane.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. Oh, so there is challenges now. So I wonder how that works.
Well, you could always challenge someone's paddle.
No, I know, but I wonder how that works. Like, when do they test it?
I think they test it right after.
Right after. So obviously there's instruments to do that. So
right. Well, and if something is illegal, guess what? They have to forfeit that match.
My God, I don't know. That's just really interesting, but we'll have to, you know what? We'll get some info on that on the next podcast to see how that kind of stuff is handled. Yeah. But now let's hop into the special announcement.
Oh, another one.
We got a new league here.
Oh, yeah.
And Caden, why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah. So, as you guys know, Jigsaw Health is an electrolyte company, but they also have a indoor pickleball facility here in Scottsdale, Arizona. It is called The Orchard. They previously were known for hosting PPA All-Star players, and we're doing just fun, like it was called Tuesday Night Pickleball. featuring the Arizona Pickleball League now, but it used to be the PPA All-Stars. And what they created is kind of like an MLP style format where scoring is fairly similar, except it's not rally scoring. They do have teams of 4, just like MLP. And they have 5 teams in this league to kind of start. It is pretty cool. There's 4 players and a GM to each team. And this season, it's kind of like Survivor. They're starting up with season 1. Planning to go till season 20. But they are starting today all the way until June or July.
Yeah, so Arizona Pickleball League, yours truly, Caden Nemeth, was picked to play in it. Correct. So this is kind of like a semi-professional league here in Arizona.
Right.
And got some of the best players here in Arizona. Actually, Kyle Kazuda and Craig Johnson, they just played the Johns brothers. We just showed you that. But they're on a team too. But again, Caden, you're going to be playing every other Tuesday night or something like that?
I'll play 1 week, and then I'll get a bye week, and then I'll play 2 weeks, and then I'll play, or 2 weeks in a row, and then I'll have like a week or 2 off. But you could actually, if you can scroll down. So tonight, actually, I'll be broadcasting that live stream. But as you can see, the Scottsdale Scorchers, my team is pretty good, I would say.
I would say pretty stacked here. You got Michelle Key.
Yes.
Formerly De La Rosa. We got Haley Newman, which is Riley and Lindsay's sister. Mm-hmm. She's a good player. Pesa.
Arizona favorite right there, Pesa Teone. And then some guy named Caden Nemeth.
Yeah, so you're on the same side as Pesa.
Yep.
I would I would not be mad about that.
Our general manager is also awesome. Have you been to Brad's house before?
No, not yet.
Oh, it is.
I heard it's nice.
I've already told him I'd consider moving into his daughter's treehouse in the backyard.
Is it bigger than your studio right now?
No, but it's.
Almost.
I'll do it. I told him. I said I'm paying $1,200 for rent right now. I'll give you $1,200 for that treehouse.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't be able to bring the couch and the TV, but I'll just put the bed in there, and I'm good to go, man. I got everything else there.
Yeah, so Scottsdale Scorchers. So we're going to be rooting Caden on this podcast. We're going to be talking about this, referring to this. This is the Arizona Pickleball League.
Yeah.
And we'll probably be breaking down some of his matches and seeing how he does. We'll talk his strategy and things like that. So stay up to date. Stay tuned with us at Briones Pickleball. We got Scottsdale Scorchers, Tempe Tornadoes, Surprise Stingers, and Peoria Pythons. We got some.
There's one more team at the bottom. Gilbert Gladiators.
Oh, Gilbert Gladiators.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's see. So a lot of people here. Here's a Tempe Tornadoes, which I think is probably at the top there too, along with you guys. We got Kyle.
We beat them last time, so we're actually at the top.
Kyle Kazuda, Craig Johnson, Dana Ragus.
Dana is personally, I think she's an absolute stud. I think if she lived here in Arizona, I think she would probably be the number 1 woman player.
Shout out to Dana.
In Arizona, besides Lindsay.
Yeah, Dana's taken a couple lessons from me, actually.
Really? She's a baller.
She's
love her game.
She's good. She just wanted some feedback on her game.
Nice.
Gave it to her, and I think she really enjoyed it.
That's how you know she's a really good pickleball player. When she's good, but she still wants to learn and level up from other pickleball players.
Yeah, so stay tuned to that. I think you can just go to jigsawhealth.com. You could find this Arizona Pickleball League, but they're doing a cool thing. They're doing a podcast as well, and like we said, Caden's going to be broadcasting on some of the games when he's not playing.
Yeah, I get to actually go on and talk crap about the teams I'm going to be playing. So
yeah,
should be fun.
So I think it's a really cool thing. And you know what? I see this happening in other states. Why not? Why not have professional leagues in each state? And then eventually you're going to have states play
right.
And then with a championship. So MLP, that's that. But you know what? I think it would be cool to have this going on in every state. Well, Arizona's a big enough state where there's a lot of good players.
We have so many good players out here.
I mean, you go
crazy.
You go to Montana or something like that, they might not have the players, but I think, starting.
Well, I think that's how they got that idea. It's like, okay, well, if we're not going to do this PPA thing anymore, like one thing that we do have is still a boatload of pickleball professionals out here in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. Caden, you're going to keep us up to date with that and anything else, man.
No, I'm honestly, I am good. I am really excited for this today. I cannot wait to play in it. Personally, the first time we played, it was so cool.
Yeah.
I felt like I was playing an MLP.
Yeah, we're gonna actually do some breakdowns of some of Caden's matches there. So all of you listeners, watchers, thank you so much again. Again, we're looking for just to throw it out there, we're looking for a title sponsor for our YouTube channel and our podcast. So if you know someone, just send us an email, brionespickleball@gmail.com, or go to our website and or the description below. We'll have a little form out there for you. And also coaching opportunities. I just want to shout that out again. I'm still planning my 2-day intensives, training intensives, where you can come and travel here. And if you really honestly want to work on your game and get professional feedback, and know what you need to change and what you need to work on, just go to brionespickleball.com. And also lastly, Caden's going to be teaching
Yes, sir.
a lot. If you're here in Arizona, he's teaching a lot of lessons here, private lessons and things like that. But also he will be traveling to different areas.
I love to travel, so if you guys want me there, I would love to be there.
Yeah, so make sure you go on our website, or we'll leave a little thing in the links below. But Caden, if you want Caden to come out and you want someone who is technically sound, great personality, and knows the game very, very well, reach out to us and he'll come out.
Yeah.
He'll come out.
Yeah, and one quick thing. If you guys enjoy the podcast, you guys are now Scottsdale Scorcher fans.
All right. Shout out to Scottsdale Scorchers.
I don't make the rules, folks.
The rules are just made.
They are made.
Okay, so again, thanks so much. Thank you so much for listening again. Episode 007.
James Bond signing out.
James Bond signing out. Jordan Briones signing out. We'll see you in the next episode.